Google is at it. It is just crushing all the AI companies out there. Today, I am talking about Google Stitch. So Stitch is their platform where you can bring your ideas to life in the UX format. So user interface, right? UI, UX. And for that, they have created Stitch. It is powered by Nano Banana. Without talking too much about it, let's just jump into it and see what Stitch is about. This was their official announcement on December 10th, but Stitch has been out for a few months under the hood. I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago they launched Stitch. So now they have publicly announced it. I've been playing with it and the results are pretty mind-boggling. So let's get into Stitch. Before I show you any of the project, I want to show you that in your Stitch settings, you will be able to check your daily credit. You get 150 credits, or at least I am on the AI $20 a month plan, which gives me 150 credits. And then I also get daily redesign credits, which is 15. And make sure you check the box or uncheck it if you don't want Google to train their model on all your data. So I've unchecked that box. With that, you will see there are some really good starter ideas to show you the art of possible. So you can go through all of these starter projects just to kind of get some inspiration. But if you already have an app idea in mind, then you can get to building by a simple prompt. You can create a app or a website design. So I'm going to show you both how I have built them, and then we're going to create one from scratch. So first, here's my website idea. I wanted to create a website concept on many tools that you can use, which has different AI tools. And there's so many websites like this right now. But this was just a concept to see how good Stitch with Google works based off a simple prompt. So here's my prompt. I actually wrote this prompt with ChatGPT. So when I say simple prompt, it's not that simple, but I didn't do the work. ChatGPT did. So my website is called Fruity Prompts. And then here is everything about it. And my prompt to ChatGPT was to create a UX wireframe or UX requirements for my website based on the simple concept that I told ChatGPT what that website was about. From there, I fed it to Google, and here's the different screens that it has created for me. So here's my homepage for Fruity Prompts, and then we have our Tools Hub. Oh, let me go to pan mode so I can drag around. Then we have the Tools Hub, what that would look like. Also the individual tool page, and then the results page from that individual tool page. So out of the box, I got this beautifully designed UX model, right? That I can just take, import it to Figma, or just take a screenshot of this and dump it in Lovable or Google AI Studio. But if you want to do this in AI Studio, you don't even have to take a screenshot. Google has made it super easy where you can hit export and you can export it directly to AI Studio. Now you do have other export options. You can export it to Jules, which is Google's autonomous coding assistant. You can download a zip file, or you can just copy the code for your designs to your clipboard. So for now, we are not going to export this anywhere, but just know that that is also the art of possible. One of my favorite things is you can select multiple of these. So let's go to the select mode. I can select all 4 screens. And then after you have selected them, you can generate a working prototype of your app, of your website. And how great would this be if you are doing an investor deck or you're pitching this to your audience and you just want to show them something that works, not necessarily has the fully baked functionality, but the clicks work. It takes you to the next screen, kind of similar to Figma, right? And you don't have to lift a finger. Well, I guess you have to lift a finger to click the mouse button, but you get the point. Now here's my working prototype. So let's go to this one. And what I can do is I can interact with it by double clicking or just by hitting this interact button. Once I hit the interact button, now this becomes an interactive site based on those screens that you connected. So here I can scroll, I can see the functionality, I can see the different animations, how they're working, super cool. Then I can click on a menu item, see if it'll take me there, and then continue to scroll and interact. I can also click into these search bars, type, I can check these boxes. All of this becomes a workable functionality that you can easily test. So I can even go to gallery, pricing. Now some of these links are not working, screen because when I first did this interactive mode, I only connected 2 screens. So if you want it to work, you should make sure that you select all of the screens and then make it interact. Now, you can also make a change here. So I can just click on this make a change. I can select a specific element. So maybe I select this menu, then I can describe my change. However, it is easier to make the change not on this interactive one, but on the static one because I found Gemini to be faster in making those changes. So this was a website concept. Now let's go to an app concept to show you how that looks. So here was an app concept, similar thing. I took it to ChatGPT, said, hey, let's design a AI image creation app because there are already so many in the market. So why not? And then based on that prompt, it has created my app homepage, then also the app creation page, and it also names these designs. So I can see the name up here, and you can of course edit those names. Further, if you select any of these screens, you will see the options. Here I can annotate this, I can add to chat, I can edit the theme of this. If I want to change the theme colors, maybe I can go with this green here. Once you select your theme color or your changes, you can just hit apply theme. I'm not going to apply it because I actually really like this color. You can also generate variations of this. So by clicking the variations button, you can generate a completely different variation of this specific page. Then you can also preview it in tablet, mobile, and desktop. And then finally, you can view the code that's sitting behind that frame. In more, you can also export this. Again, we have the same export options that we saw for our desktop website. I can do the same for mobile apps as well. I can also download it, and that download happens as a zip file. Just like I showed you on the desktop website, you can connect all of these. Make sure you're in the select mode, connect all of these and create your prototype. Now it says here, prototype, you have to select more than one screen. So keep the control or command button pressed depending on Windows, Mac. Once you have selected your screens, you can generate your prototype. We'll do that, but for that, let's go and design a brand new app, and I can show you how I prompt it, how I make this interactive, and we'll see if it actually works. I want to build a personal finance app, and that's the goal with this prompt, is to give me the UX for this personal finance app so I can keep track of my income, my expenses, my credit card debt, my car loan, my house debt, and then also I would like a interactive dashboard that shows me my all of that fun stuff, right? So to do that, I have given it this prompt here. Now this prompt is going actually to ChatGPT because I'm using the Atlas browser. From that, I'm going to get the output that I'll put inside of Google Stitch because I don't want to use my credits, but I also don't want to give it a vague prompt. So I'm flushing it out now. And while it gets flushed out, what I want to show you here is you can choose between app and web, and you can choose the different models. I am currently on the Thinking with 3 Pro model, but you can also choose fast or 2.5 model. So let's go and copy this app UX design. And then what we're going to do is try to make this a prototype. Here's our prompt. This is obviously a mega prompt. So let's see how good Google Stitch does with this prompt. Before we started this, I think I had used up 63 credits. So now once this is fully built out, let's see how many more credits we run out of. I think each screen could be 1 or 2 credits, but I haven't really found an article that talks about the credit consumption piece of this. All right, that took about 2 minutes. Our app prototype is ready. We'll dive into this in a minute, but before we do, let's go take a look at our credits. So I was at about 64 credits, so close to 67, but now we are at 82 credits. So looks like about 20 to 25 credits per generation. And if we get 150 a day, that's actually not bad, included in my $20 AI plan. So now let's dive into this and look at the functionality. Let's do a grab tool here. So here's my dashboard. It shows my total net worth, money made this month. Then there's a view report, how much money went out, how much came in, savings, nice. Okay, next up we have subscriptions here, utilities, more utilities. Then we have our car loan. Oh, this is looking really good. Emergency fund. All right, this could actually be a really good app. Then we have our second screen, which is my income. So we have monthly, annuals, main salary, free design, Etsy shop, dividends, etc., etc. Okay, we can add new sources. Then we have our monthly commitments. This is what I've been looking for. This is great. Our debt snapshot, I do want the APR, so it shows me that if I make only minimum payments, what will be my interest charge. Then we have our retirement simulator. Awesome. And then this looks like an onboarding screen, also an onboarding screen. Yep, onboarding, and awesome. So I'm going to go to my select tool, and you can see the shortcuts here, V and H, and then you can zoom and also upload image to canvas. So let's go ahead and multi-select all of these screens. And remember, you can also generate a prototype, but instead of prototype, I'm going to hit export, and I'm going to bring this to AI Studio. My prompt is, let's make this real. Build with AI Studios. That's going to export those images, bring them to AI Studio. You can see here are all the images and their HTML files along with them, and let's go and build away. So I have used AI Studio before. One thing that I have found, and I don't know that has been fixed yet, is I was trying to build a landing page, so maybe that's why, but every time I would go and visit that landing page, the images were just completely changed. And that's why I can't use AI Studio to do client work, because I cannot afford to have those images completely change on me every time I load the project. So I don't know if that's going to be true with AI Studio when building this app. So I'm going to pause this video, let this build be complete, and be right back. All right, looks like V1 is ready. So here's our app, and we can look here, we can change the different devices. Let's go to current screen size, and here I've been able to play with it, which is pretty impressive. So I can hit plus. That brings me to our onboarding screens. I can then click on next to set my budget. Here's my little profile icon, notifications. I can see money in and out. Now I can't interact with all of it, but I can interact with most. So I can toggle these buttons on and off, and then I can also add income sources. So let's pretend that we add a source here, and let's see, paycheck weekly 1500. You can see all these buttons are easy toggles. This is pretty sleek. So when I try to add that paycheck, it brings me back to this screen. So this isn't fully functional, but it's enough of a prototype that I can actually touch, feel, and play with it. Well, not touch, but you know what I mean. So that's pretty cool that we were able to design it in Stitch, export it to Google AI Studio, and then continue to build on it. Now what I want to do is take that exact same prompt, and instead of running it through Gemini 3, I want to see if we can run it through a faster version, and maybe that'll take less credits and give us the same results. So let's go give it a try. And I'm going to use the exact same prompt, but this time I'm going to go fast mode and see what kind of design we get and how many credits we lose in that fast mode. So right now I have 82 credits used out of my 150. So I'm a little over halfway through my allotted credits for the day, and that was all using the experimental Gemini 3.0 model. Now with fast model, I'm hoping that it charges less credit and gives me close to that same functionality. This one is definitely faster. I can feel like it's moving quick, it's building things, but it is not as sleek and sexy as that other one. It is very plain Jane, and I guess that is why it's called the fast mode. So this literally got built in seconds. And if we go back to our credits, it did take much less credits. So we went from 82 to 88. So we took 6 credits to build that prototype versus 20 to 25 credits. That's a big difference, but I can also see the big difference in quality. Now let's give it that exact same prompt, but this time we'll do it in 2.5 Pro. So we already looked at the highest model and then the lowest model. Now we're going to look at the middle of the road model to see how good that is. Maybe 2.5 Pro will be that sweet spot of not eating up a lot of your daily credits, but giving you a sleek, modern design to work. This one says estimated time is 30 seconds. Typically 3.0 will take you about 120 seconds. So this is 1/4 of that time, and fast, as you saw, is really fast. So that's one thing, is the time savings, because this is now using a cheaper model, so it's not making as many calls and it's costing Google less to run this model, and hence you get a faster result. I can already see some of the screens are coming to life. So that's our onboarding add income screen that's coming to life right now. And what we'll do is we'll try to compare this side by side with our other prototype, which was with the 3.0, to see some of those finer details. So this generation took me 18 credits and about 30 seconds. I would say between 2.5 and 3, I would rather go with 3, pay those extra credits, because I can see the quality is pretty substantial. So everything in blue on the left is the 2.5 model, and on the right tree is the highest model that they have. And you can see this is the desktop, or I should say the home page. I can see that it just looked better. I don't know why. Maybe that's just my biased thinking, because I feel like 3.0 should be the better version. And let's keep going. Let's look at some of these screens. This is the bills and debt section. This is the retirement simulator section. Pretty similar. I would say design wise, it is pretty similar. It's just that I like the 3.0 output better. It just looks a little bit more polished. So overall, the design comes out to be pretty much the same. And if you are hurting for credit, give fast a shot, or 2.5 if you don't want to go with 3.0. Now, finally, few other things to show you here. You can also use the toolbar to zoom in. So I can choose this and then go drag on my scroll mouse to zoom in and out. And you can upload images to canvas. That is how I added these other images to the canvas. And then of course you can connect it all together and ask it to create a working prototype. And lastly, you can also share this project. So you can enable sharing and remixing. And once you do, you will be able to get a link that you can share with anyone. And there you have it. That is Stitch with Google. It's coming out with new AI tools every single day. This is an amazing time to be experimenting, to be bringing your ideas to life. With that, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and write in the comments below what video you would like to see next. And until next time, keep prompting.